Hello guys, again, as always, it's been ages since I last posted. And again, I guess it doesn't matter because not really many people watch. But you never know, one day that might change. Maybe one day people will discover my channel and then I'll actually have maybe like a small little following of emetophobes. People with anxiety and a fear of being sick watching my crap. So I currently um, have COVID right now. So yeah, this is me on feeling good, quite good actually, surprisingly. And it's quite erratic. It's all over the place. Like I have moments where I'm feeling really okay. The cough hasn't been a huge issue with me at all. It was in the first 2 days. So okay, I'll explain. I started showing symptoms. So right now it is Wednesday night. I started showing symptoms Saturday night um, with a cough and sore throat and a headache. Then by Sunday I was really rough. Like I was so bad, and like my anxiety went through the roof. I felt sick and nauseous. I then stupidly googled like how many people actually are sick with COVID, and it said like, oh, okay, I won't say it just in case it triggers anybody that has COVID and has emetophobia. So I won't say the percentage. Don't Google it. It's not high. It's not high. But for some people it can be triggering. For me it was. For some others it might not. But if you are now just paranoid by the fact that I've mentioned it, I'll let you know now the number isn't high. It is unlikely that you'll be sick with COVID, so don't panic. Nevertheless, my perception of what's high is different to others, so you never know. Like it still can be triggering for some people. So I just recommend not googling it if you think it's something that will trigger you. And then Tuesday and stuff, like I was okay, and then today I felt awful, and then I felt okay again this evening. Like I've been brilliant this evening. Like I've been really good. Um, my girlfriend, she lives with me. She's asleep upstairs. Um, she's been suffering with it quite badly because she caught it as well. I'm pretty convinced it's her that gave it to me. Anyway, she's amazing because I'm not the easiest person to deal with because I'm quite hyperactive and like full on person, and she's amazing. She's deals with my hyperactivity, and she deals with me with COVID, and she deals with my anxiety. So she's like, so yeah, she's amazing. She's honestly the best woman in the world, and it made me think really like COVID's been a lot like my anxiety of how I've been experiencing it. How like I have really massive ups and downs with me. Like I'll have a week where I'm eating amazingly, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna start putting on weight, and then I'll have a week where it's terrible, and I'm thinking, oh crap, I'm gonna lose weight. I definitely think recently I've been using good things that have been happening in my life to help with those dark times. So when I'm feeling ill or feeling crap or feel like I'm having a bad week or I'm struggling to eat, I try to push it all down with all the good things that are happening in my life. So I know this may sound silly to some people and maybe kind of nerdy as well, but I've always really wanted a gaming computer. I've always wanted a gaming PC for years. I've always wanted one. Could never afford one. Still can't afford one really. Um, it was kind of like I got helped out by my dad, so he helped me afford it really. But I had waited years for this moment, and I finally have one, and that just like, oh, I just got a huge dopamine rush when I ordered all the parts. So things like that really go a long way for me. They really go a long way. They make me feel happy, and I get them whenever I've had bad moments in my week where I felt really upset, depressed, or like struggling to eat. I think of things like that, like I've got a gaming computer on the way, or like I've got my girlfriend to look forward to seeing later or whatever, and other things as well. I just think of all the things to be massively grateful for, and other things that I knew that I had coming that I knew I could look forward to as well. Like I'm starting a new job when all of this lockdown's over, and I'm looking forward to that. Like doing something I enjoy, that's music based, recording an EP. I've been doing music videos and stuff like that. So it's just like you've got to push it all down with the positive things and stuff as well. I definitely think when you have anxiety or something that's really restrictive, like in your life mentally, like a fear, for example, with me, it's my fear of being sick and things like that. I think it's very easy to succumb to your negative thoughts, and it's very easy to succumb to the anxiety to the point you don't want to leave the house, and you don't want to think about good things in your life, and you don't even want to be productive and keep yourself busy to find good things and to find positive and good opportunities to do good things. I'm not very good at explaining these things sometimes, so forgive me. But I think you kind of get the point of what I'm trying to say. So yeah, it can be like very easy to succumb to it, and if you're struggling, like you're always going to have, the way I look at it, if you're struggling to find things to be positive about, to push away all that negativity, just remember there is always something about you, either about you or something about your life that you have that someone else doesn't. For example, I have a really supportive mum and I have a very supportive dad, and I have some friends that don't have that, don't even have a supportive mum or a supportive dad. I know some people that have anxiety that struggle to hold down a job, and I know some that can hold down a job, like can hold a job. So if you're somebody who can hold down a job, that is something that you have that other people might not have, like might really struggle with. Others, like I struggle to hold down a job, really. I used to. I feel like I'm better now, but I very much had to survive under the wing of my dad when with that, like with employment and things like that. He employed me to work for him, and I went through a brief moment in time where I felt like I could go out from under his wing and do my own thing. But then eventually, as I kind of got worse again, I've kind of magnetized back to him. But it's only been till recently I've managed to feel like I can fly away from the nest again, because I feel like I'm kind of getting strong enough again. It's not about strength really. I know I'm pretty vulnerable still, but I feel more confident because has been a lot of positivity in my life despite the struggling to eat and things like that. There has been a lot of positivity going on at the moment in my life. Now, I'm lucky. I always remember that I'm very fortunate to be in a good position where I have lots of friends and, like I said, a supportive family and my music and projects, and I've managed to keep myself busy. That's not me trying to brag for anyone who's suffering, like, or going through a harder time. And don't get me wrong, like I am, like there are days I still have that are a massive struggle. I am still fighting this, like as we speak, like every day. Like today, I had a panic attack and I felt unwell. And it was and I didn't have any dinner. And then later on in the evening, I did eventually have some dinner. Uh, but also I am suffering with COVID at the moment. I did test positive on Sunday, um, so eating has been hard in general anyway, because you lose appetite with COVID. It's one of the symptoms. As if I need any more help with that. But I was speaking to my sister on the phone, and she's just she's currently doing her master's in psychology. So she did a degree, she did a year of work experience, and now she's on her year master's. So she's like obviously very well educated in all of this, and she was talking to me on the phone the other day about how your body can learn things, learn to react in certain ways. So you know how when you're feeling really nervous, you can get sick. It can give you upset bowels. It can give you a bit of IBS. It can and stuff like that. Your emotions can really affect your body, like physically. And apparently, your body can learn this behavior on its own. So no matter how much you try to talk yourself into it, even if you're thinking rationally, like I shouldn't be feeling sick right now, your body's so used to feeling sick because it's developed a pattern, and that can be its own separate problem, which is just annoying as hell. So even if I'm feeling unwell and I'm meditating, yes, it can help to a point control my panic, but like it won't stop me from feeling sick, because that's a separate pattern that I've managed to reinforce altogether that I have to try and break. It gets very complex. I love my sister. She's so intelligent with these sorts of things, and it's quite handy having a psychiatrist in the family when you've got emetophobia. So you got to kind of like flip it. So flip the way you look at these things, flip your perspective, or you got to look at it rationally, like how your anxiety works and how these things get worse. Really dissect it and think about it. So how does anxiety get worse? Well, normally it starts off with a small thing, like a seed, and you grow it and you grow it and you reinforce it, and some things happen in your day-to-day life that are negative, which you remember, and it's easy, like I said, it's easy to be an enabler to yourself and your own negativity. It's easy to forget the positives, which is why I said earlier to make sure you keep beating it down with things you know you're lucky to have in your life, and positivity and things, keeping busy, keeping things to look forward to in your day to help prevent that. But and that's just a preventative to stop it from getting worse. That isn't really a cure. So like what I'm telling you. So in order to cure your anxiety, you need to figure out how you got there in the first place and reverse it. So when you lose something, you retrace your steps, right? to find out where it began, where you started your day, up to the point where you think you might have lost it. And it's the same with your anxiety. Try and retrace your steps and then undo each problem that you came, figure out how to undo it. It's hard to, I'm so bad at explaining. Right, how I relapsed. Okay, so how it started with me, how I relapsed was I was getting the train home from work one day and I felt really unwell on the train and it was crowded and I thought, oh, there's people around, they're gonna see me being ill, and it made me panic. And then from then it got worse. Every time I got the underground, it was getting worse and worse and worse. Home from work on the train, and then that eventually spilled in even when I wasn't on the train. I started feeling sick every time I went out in public, regardless like of travel. And then that spilled out into the home in my private life. So I started feeling sick at home, which made me scared to eat again, which made eating make me feel sick. So it just spiraled more and more out of control. And recently, what I've been doing at the moment is acceptance, is trying to trust my body that it knows what it needs to do. Again, hard to explain. I feel like I'm better at writing this all down. I have to actually finish writing this book that I'm doing about it, about anxiety and how to deal with it.